issues pertaining this constituency are civic issues or issues related to redevelopment,
Yeah.
etc., etc., which are directly, related to BMC or directly civic affairs. It's a issue आहे. But as a contestant or as a aspirant of in this particular constituency, what are the major issues you are looking at? This constituency has not been with Shiv Sena since last five years. So, which are the issues you think were neglected?
I think the most important issue in this whole constituency is that of housing, and which is directly related to, I think, the state government and not to BMC. So almost 90% of the people in Vandre East, they live in slums, and at a macro level, if you see, everyone wants redevelopment, they want permanent homes. But if you see at micro level, the issues vary from area to area. Like for example, if you see the areas of Behrampada, which have traditionally been slums for the last, I think, for don't know what, like 40-50 years, and there are no signs of redevelopment, and that is because that whole land is still with the railways. That has not yet been transferred to the state government. Whereas if you go a little further ahead in Khar East, which has been which is a completely Maharashtrian dominated belt, that land belongs to the defense, and that is also not been transferred to the state government yet. A minute away is the government colony. The residents from government colony are also, I mean, they are waiting for their own redevelopment and their rightful ownership of houses. That has been pending for so long. So issues vary from area to area, but the common issue is every resident in Bandra East, which is right now called the heart of Mumbai, wants a permanent house. And somehow in the last 5 years, even though the incumbent MLA, Mr. Zishan Siddiqui, was always in government, first he was in MVA and later he switched parties and joined the Mahayuti, he has not been able to push forward a single project, and hence I think he has no report card to show.
So, you think redevelopment is one of the biggest issues
Yeah.
pertaining to this constituency? Do you think SRA is doing its job, or SRA is fulfilling the purpose for which SRA?
No, I mean, a lot of projects are stuck with SRA. They are stuck because of real estate developers not fulfilling their promises. You see people living in transit camps in Vandre East for God knows 5 to 10 years or maybe even 15 years, and they have not been shifted to permanent homes yet. So like I said, housing remains one of the key issues that is directly related to the state government, and that should be the primary responsibility of any MLA who gets elected from here. But somehow over the last 5 years, I see that has been neglected, and hence that is going to be my priority. Of course, apart from that, since BKC is almost adjacent to Vandre, and it is now the commercial capital of Mumbai, hence the traffic problems that the residents face in Vandre are also huge. Apart from that, if you just in the morning during or in the evening during office commute hours, if you even try going to Bandra East station, you will know that it's such a big headache. So making Bandra, Khar and Santa Cruz East stations pedestrian friendly is also something that I've put in my agenda, and I'm going to try to do. And apart from that, of course, since this is a urban assembly, all BMC related issues, all civic related issues are there. You need better roads, you need better water supply. You have huge, I mean, buildings here wherein one house costs roughly around 8 to 10 crores, and yet sometimes you don't even get access to clean water. So I mean, the irony of this is not good, and hence all of these issues have to be solved. And for the last, I think, 2.5 years, even the corporators in BMC are not in place. Hence the residents are not sure who do they approach if they want to address any civic issues. And so, I mean, that is why all of these things have gotten very complicated. And now that the state elections are coming up, we are going to people are telling us that we are with you, but these are our issues that have been neglected for the last 5 years, and hence they should be brought up on priority.
Picking up a question from what you said, we have been, doing at midday. We have been doing a lot of issues like pedestrian ke niche, there is encroachment.
Yeah.
It's not clear. It's getting very difficult for people to walk,
Yeah.
because pedestrian ways are not clear. Either there are encroachments, or there are some shops that have come up. kiwa pedestrianways are broken, paver blocks has come off. These are the issues. We had also covered about how metro stations have come up, but last mile connectivity is still remains a problem. Last mile connectivities and areas under these metro stations are dark, so very difficult for women commuters or anyone.
I know. I mean, it's a very good point that you raised. I missed that while speaking earlier. The BKC metro station is a prime example of how poor planning can be. If you just come outside of the BKC metro station, there is absolutely no last mile connectivity. You don't get any rickshaws, you don't get any BST buses, and even if your office is, let's say, 500 meters away, or let's say it's a 10-minute walk, it's the straight highway. So where do people walk on? Like, where do people go from there? Or rather, how do even people reach this BKC metro station? And there should be the dedicated rickshaw stand, there should be a dedicated BST bus stop, there should be a taxi stand there, and I mean, all of these things are, I think, they are very basic. The fact that we have to even discuss all of this just shows the apathy of, I mean, the planning institutions towards our city, and all of this has to change. Similarly, if you can, like I mentioned, all the railway stations, I mean, it is so bad that we are living in this modern age where everyone has access to great technology, and yet they can't even walk straight in a straight line for 5 minutes on the roads. I think this is not right, and these things have to change. They have to be changed on priority. Sadly, what happens is public representatives, and especially the MLAs, they have never focused on the real issues of people. They have tried to just further their personal ambitions, and they have been busy in making allegations, changing their own parties, and doing politics at a very I mean, silly levels, rather than focusing on these real issues. And hence, I think, I mean, once elected, I hope to change all of these, and I think they are all very quick fixes. It's not going to take long to make all these access roads to stations pedestrian friendly. It's just that no one has really tried to do it. There has been, I can't think of a good English word for Ichha Shakti. So that has been missing. So once I think you have that, I think all of this can be done.
Transport services have been a problem. We spoke half
Yeah.
about metro and all. What do you think about the buses, the trains? Transport services reaching out to people. Trains are so much crowded. We
No, I
hear
mean-
about people falling in.
No, I mean, if you see, it is so funny that you can get down on Vandre station. Let's say you get on your train at, say, Dadar, and you get down at Vandre station. That whole commute is around 15 to 20 minutes. But from Vandre station to reach your own house in, maybe, say, Khernagar or Kherwadi, it takes you 35 minutes, because almost all rickshaws say no, because it's a shorter distance. And these are very real issues. They are issues that are usually not discussed in public forum, but these are issues that lakhs of people face every single day, and all of them have to be solved. All of them have to be taken up. They are sometimes just passed off as isme itna kya hai, what difference does it make? But now that I'm meeting people, I'm going to people's houses, they're telling us that forget all the macro things. Even if you can help with just all of things, we are going to be very thankful. And if a person like goes to office and comes back, so twice a day, if he's facing this same issue, I think that is a very important issue for him. For politicians who maybe do not travel by public transport facilities so often, they don't consider this as important, but for common people it is, and hence it is going to be on my priority list.
You also yourself spoke about water contamination issue. There is an issue with water supply also. We only covered about how water supply is a kai honar hai. So water contamination, you said, in which area did you notice?
I mean, water supply and water contamination has been an issue throughout Vandre East. Even in the more affluent parts of the city, where I mean, near BKC, all the redeveloped societies where, like I mentioned, one house or one apartment costs anywhere between 5 to 10 crores. Even there you don't have access to clean water. A lot of these residents have been telling us that we pay such high civic taxes, but we don't get clean water. Whereas if you go in the other parts of the constituency, sometimes they just get water 2 hours of the day. Sometimes the water pressure is very low. So these are very real issues, and I mean, just adjoining Kalanagar, I mean, that was an issue that was quickly addressed by our party, and we even helped to solve it. But it was, I mean, so scary that the sewerage line and the drinking water supply line had mixed, and that is why people were getting muddy waters from their taps. So I mean, yeah, so these issues do exist. They're very real issues, and sadly we have to solve them.
The major issue that the city is grappling with, but your constituency, some of the areas are on the top of the list
Yeah.
of air pollution.
Yeah.
Bad air quality
Yeah.
has been reported from BKC, from Kherwadi. Anything in your mind that you would want to
Yeah, I mean,
stress on about this?
I mean, one of my subjects in my civil engineering course was on environment, so I have a fair bit of knowledge about this. It is very difficult to do spot reduction of air pollution, but what we can for sure do is help the traffic problem here, because of the stagnant traffic. There the emissions from these vehicles have been a lot, and which is why maybe it causes vehicular pollution and air pollution. So and I think just this traffic has been playing a spoil sport in everyone's lives. So maybe easing the traffic approaching via going to BKC and coming from BKC, even if we are able to solve that, I think that is going to ease up a lot of the pollution issues. And apart from that, I think, see, on one hand we want redevelopment, on one hand we want infrastructure, and on the other hand we can't say that there should be no pollution. So because of the rampant infrastructure and rampant development going on, rampant construction going on, these are very real challenges that we have to face. But if we can address them at say planning level, I'm very sure we can reduce it. And like I said, that maybe because of BKC, because of the sheer number of vehicles that come in and that go out, maybe the numbers are very high. So yeah, I mean, just helping get better modern traffic solutions, I'm hoping that this will ease.
Do you think job creation is a problem here? Like creation of jobs has been an issue amongst people now that you're going and
No, I mean,
meeting people on the ground?
job creation and lack of job opportunities is not an issue only in Vandre East, it is throughout Maharashtra. The fact that almost every big industry that was supposed to come in Maharashtra somehow has gone to Gujarat is not sitting well with the residents of not just Vandre East but of the entire state, and hence that is a major issue. That is a major issue of unrest for the youth throughout the state, and that is of course something that we are taking up. That if the same government that is right now sitting gets elected once again, I think we'll even lose whatever jobs we have right now, because they just to like please their bosses, whatever big industries that Maharashtra has, they are keen on sending them away to Gujarat. So I think this has to stop. So I think this issue is not limited to Vandre, it is for the entire state.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.